Alright guys, Bitcoin just bounced off another major level and a push even higher from here will erect a lot of people. Let me show you exactly what's going on. So as I told you in the previous video, Bitcoin bounced exactly at the golden pocket that we were watching. But after that bounce, it got rejected again and went even lower to hit another very important level. And what you're going to see right here is that if we take the Fib retracement and drag it from the swing low to the recent high, Bitcoin actually hit another golden pocket on the way down. And from there, we are now seeing a major bounce off that level. And on top of that, let me show you what was forming at those exact lows. If we open up the RSI on the 6-hour time frame, what you're going to see is that Bitcoin was making higher lows while the RSI was making lower lows. And that of course is a bullish divergence right at this major support level. And if we zoom out to the 12-hour time frame, the exact same setup, higher lows on Bitcoin and lower lows on the RSI. So another bullish divergence on a higher time frame. And if we go all the way out to the daily time frame, we were also seeing a slight bullish divergence forming there as well. So we have bullish divergences on multiple time frames all happening right at this golden pocket support level. And that is exactly why Bitcoin is now seeing this strong bounce of these levels. And let me show you something else that we have been watching for a very long time and it just played out. If we turn on the log scaler right now, what you're going to see is that major trend line that Bitcoin was trading below ever since the all-time high. And on this last low, Bitcoin actually came down and hit it for the first time since breaking above it. So not only did Bitcoin hit the golden pocket on this low, it also hit a major trend line that turned from a resistance into a support. And a bounce of that level is of course another bullish Bitcoin indication. Now in the short term, Bitcoin was actually trading in a clean downtrend from this recent high right here. So if we connect the rejection points along the way, what you're going to see is a clear resistance trend line that Bitcoin was struggling to break above for a while. But after that bounce from the golden pocket, with all the bullish divergences we just talked about, Bitcoin broke clean above that trend line, which is of course another bullish sign for Bitcoin. And right now we are seeing a bigger push to the upside of the back of that breakout. And before I continue with everything else I have to show you in this video, I would really appreciate it if you guys are finding this helpful to like the video, subscribe to the channel and hit that notifications so you don't miss the next one. Alright, let's get back to the video. Now yes, Bitcoin did break out of this downtrend right here and has already seen a beautiful pump to the upside. But here's something very interesting if we zoom out a little. Look right here at this previous scenario, it was almost the exact same setup. Bitcoin made a high, then started pushing lower and struggled to break above the trend line. But once it finally did, it not only saw a clean pump to the upside, it actually went all the way up and swept the liquidity above the previous high where the downtrend started in the first place. And I do think we could see something very similar happening right here. And on top of that, if we open up the 2-week liquidation chart, what you're going to see is that the biggest liquidation cluster on this entire chart is not below the lows. It is actually sitting right above the recent high, above 79.5 thousand US dollars. So that liquidity is still waiting to get grabbed. And it's not just the liquidity level that I'm watching to the upside. There is also another very important trend line that Bitcoin has been respecting for the past 3 months. And that is the top trend line of this ascending channel right here. So if Bitcoin does push higher from here, we are not only looking at the liquidity level at the recent high and all those short liquidations stacked above. We are also looking at the top of this major ascending channel as a target. And that area is exactly where a lot of traders would get wrecked one more time before pushing lower, and also where I will be definitely looking to fire another short position. So let's quickly put all this together. Bitcoin bounced from the golden pocket and it also bounced from the major log scale trend line that turned from resistance into a support. It broke above the short-term downtrend resistance to the upside, and the last time we saw this exact same kind of breakout, Bitcoin went all the way up and swept the liquidity at the recent high. So in my opinion, that is likely what we are looking at again. Now there is also one more thing to watch in the short term. Bitcoin is currently trading right at this daily level, which is of course some kind of a resistance. I don't think it is a major one, especially with all the more important levels sitting above the recent high, but it is still something we have to pay attention to. A clean break above this daily level, and in my opinion, new highs here in the short term are pretty much inevitable. potentially even all the way up to the top of the ascending channel. If Bitcoin does push higher and hit the top of the channel and then gets rejected, let me show you the major levels I'm watching to the downside. There are 3 big liquidity levels that Bitcoin left behind on the way up. The first 2 of them are sitting very close together at 73.6 and 73.3 thousand US dollars. If we take the anchored VWAP and anchor it at the very bottom of this entire move up, what you're going to see is that the VWAP comes in right between those 2 liquidity levels. So we have 3 things stacking up at the same area, 2 liquidity levels and the anchored VWAP. That makes this whole zone a very strong target and also a very strong support for Bitcoin. Now yes, there is also the smaller liquidity level right here that Bitcoin hasn't swept yet. But in my opinion, that one is not a major level, so I'm not really watching it that closely. And then we have one more liquidity level lower at 70.4 thousand US dollars. And if we take the fib retracement and drag it from the bottom to the projected top of the ascending channel, what you're going to see is that the golden pocket lines up very well with the liquidity level down here. So that is definitely another major target and a support level for Bitcoin further down. So that's where we are. Bounce of the golden pocket and the trend line confirmed and the downtrend is broken. And Bitcoin is pushing toward the top of the channel where I'll be looking to short again. As always, this is not financial advice and manage your risk. Let me know in the comments what you guys think and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.